We're back with another NXT UK review. Let's get right into the action, just like NXT UK did today, with a Supernova sessions with Noam Dar and Trent Seven. My internet was kind of bugging out at this point, but I kind of got the gist. Was Noam Dar was really annoyed with Trent Seven because it was like, how come you got a cruiserweight title shot and I didn't? And he called him an outsider, and then Trent took offense to this. Trent was like, I'm not an outsider, mate. I was one of the founding fathers of NXT UK. They've really been pushing Trent Seven as a founding father of NXT UK. Kind of makes sense though, and it's kind of like his place because obviously he doesn't have a title, so he's like the founding father. And so Trent's like, oh, and then Sha Samuels comes out and he's like, don't start on Noam Dar. And it was actually pretty funny. He called him, he said, shut up you tart, and that was amazing. That was, other than the main event, the highlight of the show for me, just because that line was so good. And Trent was like, yeah, well, as you got Sha Samuels in your corner, I'm going to be in Tyler Bates' corner in 2 weeks' time, the Heritage Cup rules match at NXT UK Prelude, which we found out because of NXT Prime is time travel, because they don't really talk about NXT UK being pre-filmed. So it's like Walter's going to be in NXT and then the next night be at NXT UK, and like, I mean, logistically that'd be pretty hard, but you know, Walter can time travel. But anyway, then we have a video pack. That was fun. It's like, it's nice to have Trent doing something. Then we have a like a backstage thing with Slimy Sid Scala, and he's just like, Ginny, you can't be at the Joseph Connors Jack Star match. And she's like, no. Said, well, Johnny Saint said so. And then, yeah. Afterwards, they had a nice video package of Walter and Rampage Brown, and I think they realised, oh, we need to build this in 3 weeks' time, with probably Walter not being here for some of that. So they did a really nice video package. They got some British legends. They got Finlay, Robbie Brookside, William Regal, and Dave Taylor to all like talk about the match and hype it up. So just because they're like, okay, we really need to build the hype, we need to try and make it believable that Walter might lose. He won't. Walter's gonna have a Bruno run, okay? Walter is the new Bruno. So then we go to our first match of the night, the Jack Stars versus Joseph Connors. So this match was a lot of technical wrestling and Joseph Connors overpowering Jack Star. I mean, I'm just going to hit the points in the match. So it starts off with a lot of pinning combinations. The two are kind of showing the technical moveset. I think for the most part, Connors is a little bit on top. Then Jack Stars manages to get Connors outside, jumps over the top rope, takes him out, but can only get two. Connors is this really cool, well, Stars throws Connors in the corner. Stars is running, and Connors uses the leverage of the corner and just stomps straight down on Stars. That was really cool. But yeah, for the rest of the match, Connors is working over Jack Star's backbreakers, and he does a really, it's not a back move, but a really cool wrist control clothesline. Really good stuff. But like, again, Jack Stars has a little bit of a fight back. He reverses a suplex, but he only gets the 2 count, and then Stars goes for a roll through on Connors, but Connors reverses it, hits a wicked DDT, and then hits a, I think I looked up, it was like a reverse STO. I think he calls it the DLD, at least that's what it said on like the wrestling wiki. So he hit that for the 3 count. So Connors wins. It's nice to see Connors getting a win. I mean, when I used to watch NXT UK initially, he was losing wrestler, but you know, he's getting wins. I like his new attitude. Then we had a Pretty Deadly promo. This is my first Pretty Deadly promo I've experienced. Very Tory is the gimmick, but they had a couple of good lines. I've forgotten their names, but the blonde guy was like, yeah, he was saying something about his mum, and the guy with brown hair was like, yeah, I never liked her. And the blonde guy just looking at him as the guy with the brown hair continues with the promo. That was actually really funny. I actually like their dynamic. It'll be, I mean, they're gonna win. They're just saying, oh, we've got a tag team match next week against Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan, which Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan are gonna lose, so then they can have a feud. But I'll be interested to see Pretty Deadly actually have a match, like be my first Pretty Deadly match. Then we have a Piper Niven and Jack Star's backstage, just her being like, listen, Jack, you may have lost, but you're not bad, and very cute. I don't know how I feel about these like backstage things. I think it's just like the stuff they show when you're watching on the network because they're not showing it on BT Sports. That's what I think those filler parts are, so they can fill the hour and 5 minutes, because obviously there'll be breaks for BT Sports. Afterwards, we had what I initially thought was going to be like a squash match, but it wasn't as much. You had Josh Morrell and Danny. I think it's Josh Morrell. So Josh Morey. I think I've got Josh Morey written down, but I think it's Josh Morrell. I'm sorry, I'll check. And Danny Jones against Tyson T-Bone and Primate with God, what's his name? It's not Ed Edwards. He's in AEW. God, I'm sorry, I forgot. Leading them to the ring. And this was basically to showcase Tyson T-Bone, who was jacked to the gills, and Primate's dominance. Although, kind of the match I thought would be over quick with them squashing the two, let's call them enhancement talents. But actually, one of the guys, I think Josh Morrell, got some good offense in, and even Danny Jones got some in, and I'm like, yo, like the Josh Morrell guy, he kind of gave me shades of Paul London, if you remember him, from years ago. Like, I think he might still be wrestling. But yeah, I was like, yo, I thought Tyson T-Bone and Primate were supposed to like squash these guys, but they didn't struggle. They were in control for like 85% of the match. But like some of the stuff these two guys were pulling off was impressive. But then even with some shenanigans, Primate and Tyson T-Bone won the match. But I was kind of like, I thought this would have been a more comprehensive win, which, I mean, it's kind of good. I don't know if these two guys are signed to NXT UK. If they are, it makes sense. You're trying to like slowly introduce people, which is what they're doing in this next match as well. Actually, no. Quickly, Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan promo. Again, it feels like something that would make the BT cut, but is on the network because it's a bit awkward. But yeah, they're going back to their introducing people. Aaliyah James, Nigel and the other guy, whose name I forgot. God, what's his name? Andrew, maybe? Andy, were introducing her, and they were like, she's new, she's fresh, she's like a hot new signing, and they were like, oh, the BBC did an article on her road to WWE. So, oh, okay. And she was against Isla Dawn, witchcraft Isla Dawn. So this was a little bit more what I expected the other match to be, where Aaliyah James got a little bit of offense in. She got this really cool, Isla Dawn Irish whips into the ropes, and she launches herself, springs off the second rope, and I thought impressive enough would have been a clothesline, but she springs off it and hits a drop kick to Isla Dawn's midsection. I'm like, that is amazing. And she also hits a third rope springboard crossbody, which is cool as well. But the story of the match was Isla Dawn, who has come back after losing to Meiko Satomura, is she was aggressive. She was hitting hard. She was laying in with punches and forearms, and eventually she gets the win with a bridging dragon suplex, which was sick. And then and she was like, I'm like, oh, this is that's scary. She looks like Scary Strong. We'll come back to her in a moment, because we had a very brief last look, what I hope is the last of these vignettes, with Zaya Brookside, got her name right this time, and Nina Samuels. This one was a little bit more fun than last week's. I think it didn't go on as long. They had some fun jaunty music, because Zaya Brookside was like, it's the last thing I need you to do, and it's clean the gents bathroom. And it was comically messy. It wasn't dirty, it was messy, and I'm like, okay, haha, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, it was better than last week's one, so that's what I can say on it. But then we go back to a backstage of Isla Dawn being a little bit. It feels like it's like she's playing or she's being possessed by the spirits and stuff. I don't know a lot about the Wiccan faith, so I can't really speak to it. But Kaylee Ray comes in with a title and she's like, if you had shown this when you first came to NXT UK, maybe you'd be in my position. And then Isla Dawn just like stares at her, and then they do these weird like cuts and fades and zooms on her as Kaylee Ray walks away. It obviously probably setting up Isla Dawn to be her next challenger, or like one after next. I don't think they really have anyone for Kaylee Ray at the moment, so it'll probably be Isla Dawn next. Maybe if they're looking for like more of like a super strong, supernatural feeling type champion, I don't know how that kind of fits with the women's division at the moment at UK though. So, or maybe it'll be someone for Kate, or maybe they'll go back and forth for the title. If obviously Isla Dawn is the next contender. And then, now this has been a pretty short episode. Ilja Dragunov versus Sam Gradwell. I was gonna make these notes like all the other ones I've done today, so more bullet pointy and shorter, snappier. This match, man, this match hurt to, like, it wasn't like hardcore death match, but it was hard hitting. So the no DQ match, Sam Gradwell kind of talked himself up to Ilja Dragunov has been picking on him, and it's like Soviet baby and all that stuff. So this match, okay, I'm gonna just read out my notes because I don't think I could do it justice without it. I'm just gonna hit the points that were like, oh my god. But of the matches this week, this one is definitely worth a watch. It was about 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, I'd say, because there's a little bit of recaps at the end, and yeah. But also watch the intros, watch the entrances, because Gradwell comes out first. Ilya comes out, he gets in the ring, Gradwell throws his jacket at him and starts punching Ilya. Ilya fights back, throws Gradwell outside. Actually no, Gradwell rolls outside, he gets a chair, Ilya reverses it, grabs the chair, he's gonna hit him, but then he throws it to the side and starts beating him up. This is the story for the first, probably for most of the match, to be honest. Ilya doesn't actually use weapons, but Gradwell does. So they're fighting on the outside. Actually no, they come inside again. Ilya doesn't use a weapon. He gets a David Constantine special, which is really cool. And then Gradwell like escapes Ilya. Ilya's on the top rope, and then Gradwell like jumps across to the corner, and Ilya's like, okay, and then just hits a coast to coast, which is sick. And then Gradwell rolls outside. Ilya goes out. He runs to punch Gradwell. Gradwell gets the bell and whacks Ilya on the arm, and it's like, oh my god, it's like good sound design. Probably it sounded like it hurt a lot. And then Gradwell takes control. He gets what looks like TV cables, starts whipping Ilya, which is like, and then starts choking him in the mouth and like pulls him down like whiplash the back of his head. Ouch. And then they get back inside. Gradwell goes to the pin, doesn't get it. Gradwell takes off the turnbuckle cover in the corner, and throws it and tries to drive Ilya into it. Ilya reverses. They go onto the top rope. Like, Ilya reverses it and climbs to the top rope. Gradwell climbs up with him. Ilya pushes him down, and Ilya looks like he's gonna jump, but smart. I've never seen this before, but Gradwell grabs the turnbuckle cover and throws it at Ilya, and then he like kicks him off the top rope, which I've never seen anyone use the turnbuckle cover. That's so smart. Never seen that in all my years. And so Ilya's standing on the apron corner. Gradwell runs in. Look, I think he hits a big forearm. Ilya just jumps. It looks like he kind of looks like an oversell. Like he like leaps and hits the barricade. And then Gradwell comes out, tries to hit Ilya with a chair, misses. I believe he tries to hit. No, this is later. He tries to hit Ilya with the chair. Ilya reverses, has the chair. He's begging him not to. Okay, and then Ilya doesn't use the chair. Ilya doesn't use the chair. Gradwell gets the chair, goes to hit Ilya. Ilya reverses it, like does a bridge and reverses it and takes out Gradwell. And then he gets the stairs, and he's gonna whack Gradwell with them. Gradwell's like, no, don't hit me. Ilya puts them down. Gradwell clobbers him with the chair, which is insane. Ilya gets the advantage again, and like he stood over Gradwell with the chair again, and Gradwell's like, please, I'm sorry, I have a son. Ilya isn't really having it, but he hesitates. Gradwell low blows him, and then Gradwell kind of then gets Ilya in a fireman's carry position, and for lack of a better term, I don't know if it's a Death Valley slam, but an attitude adjustment onto the stairs, and Ilya's like, my back, and I'm like, oh my god, like he was really selling it. So then Gradwell rolls Ilya in, then Gradwell throws a bunch of chairs into the ring, and like Gradwell's, I think he Gradwell just throws him into the ring, but Ilya gets up. He throws Gradwell into the ring, into the turnbuckles, the exposed one, and then hits a backbreaker, and Gradwell like rolls and lands on the chairs. And so Ilya gets on the top rope, and he's like, oh my god, he's gonna hit him, he's gonna top rope move him, goes for a back senton and misses and lands on his back, and Gradwell's back in control. So then Gradwell gets Ilya in the corner, and Ilya's like, he's facing the turnbuckle and his back is hurt. Gradwell's going to chop it. He's like, oh no, that's gonna set Ilya off. So then he turns Ilya around, slaps him on the chops him like on the chest / face. Then Ilya's like trying to reverse. He turns and Gradwell accidentally chops him on the back. And obviously this is what sets Ilya off, because of it's like the whole thing with Walter, and obviously it's the long-term storytelling, which is great, because he snaps and he just bullies like he kicks the shit out of Gradwell. Like he gets on the ground and just kicks the fucking daylights out of his head, grabs a chair and absolutely wails on Gradwell, just absolutely destroys his back. Gets him up. I don't exactly know what the move is. It might be Ilya's finisher, but he hits like a power body slam onto the chairs, and so okay, he's gonna pin him. No, he doesn't. He gets on top of him and starts wailing away with forearms, and the ref has to stop the match, which I think is even better than pinning Gradwell. Like Gradwell looks like he's not knocked out. He's not, but he looks like it. And so it's like, and this time Ilya doesn't show remorse. He just keeps on going and going, and he sat on Gradwell looking down at him. It's like, talk more, say more, talk more shit. Ilya doesn't feel remorse for this. He gets on the top rope, not celebrating, but he's like, fuck you. It's just that that's what he's exuding, like, I'm Ilja Dragunov. And it was like, oh, okay, this is the next step for Ilya. He's either going to embrace this new Ilya, which will be the next probably step for him to go on to face Walter. Probably be him taking the title from Walter. I know they have plans for a pay-per-view in Dublin the day after all lockdown restrictions end in the UK. I don't know how that bodes for Ireland and Dublin. Don't know what Ireland's plans are, but in the UK it's the day after, so I don't know. But yeah, it's really setting up Ilya to be this dominant force, and obviously with Walter doing more and more in the US, obviously he's got a match with Ciampa. I think it's going to be when Walter drops the belt. It'll be June. He'll drop it, and then maybe he'll get one rematch against Ilya, and then he'll probably, maybe not full time in the US, but dabble in the US. So yeah, this week I definitely recommend the Ilya match, and yeah, leave a comment, like, share this with a friend. Let me know your thoughts on this week's episode of NXT UK. Come back for next week's, it'll be great. And also over the next 2 weeks there will be WrestleMania related content going out during the week, probably on either a Saturday or a Tuesday, and these will come out on the Thursday/Friday depending when you watch them. Thank you for coming and listening. Someone about wrestling.